While digging around an ancient oak in their backyard to help his dad, 10-year-old Alex unearthed a strange metallic object. Covered in earth and oddly warm to the touch, the object was engraved with symbols neither Alex nor his father and mother recognized. Intrigued, they decided to take it to the local museum for a closer examination. Upon seeing the artifact, the historians at the museum turned pale, immediately recognizing its significance and potential danger. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. The morning Alex and his dad began tackling their unruly garden, and his mother watched from the kitchen window. She noticed how Alex seemed drawn to a particular area by the old oak tree. He quickly discarded weeds and dug, as if pulled by an unseen force. His father, caught up in clearing the brambles, hardly noticed. Anne felt an anxious knot tighten, sensing something significant awaited discovery. Before long, Alex's persistent digging paid off. "Mom! Dad!" he called, holding it up. His father joined him, brushing aside soil, revealing more of the object. The object they discovered seemed alien. Unfamiliar symbols covered its surface, and it radiated an unnatural warmth that puzzled the family. "What do you think it means?" Alex asked excitedly, but neither parent had an answer, prompting them to consider seeking help to unlock the secrets hidden in its metallic frame. Together, they decided on a course of action, their imaginations running wild with endless possibilities. Determined to learn more, the family decided to visit the local museum. Entering the museum, the family felt a mix of anticipation and reverence. His father looked around, trying to spot an expert. In that moment, the museum seemed like a gateway into the world of history, holding secrets uncovered and untold. The head curator, a keen-eyed woman with a discerning gaze, was immediately intrigued by their artifact. Anne watched as the curator traced its surface with careful fingers, whispering about its unique properties. "I can't say much now, but I'll consult with our team of historians," she assured them with a nod. Anne felt a spark of hope, trusting they'd soon learn more about its mysterious origins and their unintended role in its story. As the family waited for more information, they wandered the museum's vast corridors. Alex marveled at the ancient artifacts that shared space with his find. His father, though quiet, seemed equally absorbed in their surroundings. Alex, unable to sit still, tapped his foot nervously. Just as Anne began to wonder how much longer they'd wait, the curator returned, her expression visibly perturbed. Her voice, urgent yet controlled, invited them to a private meeting. Seated among dusty tomes and ancient sculptures, Anne watched the historian with keen interest. His demeanor shifted as he began to speak, a blend of excitement and caution coloring his words. The historian's passion was contagious, his voice painting vivid pictures of long-lost traditions and stirring a deeper intrigue about the artifact. Anne listened intently as the historian delved into the past, describing ancient rituals once tied to objects like theirs. As the historian spoke, he revealed layers of a culture lost to time, connecting the artifact to practices and beliefs that seemed almost otherworldly to Anne. The room seemed charged with the potential implications of the artifact's discovery. Anne felt the weight of history settling around them, tangible in the way the historian's narrative carried unspoken promises. She glanced at Alex. The artifact had become more than a curiosity. It held power, an allure that pulled them closer to uncovering hidden truths. The air was alive with unvoiced possibilities, leaving Anne both exhilarated and cautious about what lay ahead. Despite the historian's assurances, an unspoken foreboding lingered in the air. Anne watched as the historian concluded his explanation, leaving unsaid the questions spinning in her mind. Alex seemed acutely aware of the artifact's mysterious allure, his youthful curiosity peeking through his otherwise steady demeanor. Over the following days, the museum conducted a series of secretive tests on the artifact, each shrouded in mystery. Anne's heart leapt with every phone call, aware they were inching toward revelations. Anne often replayed the historian's words, each test hinting at further layers of intrigue, and yet she wondered how much chaos their involvement could stir in their seemingly normal life. Alex's parents, aware of his growing curiosity, filtered the museum's conclusions carefully, shielding him from the most alarming details. Anne sensed Alex's awareness expanding, his interest virtually insatiable. She knew they walked a fine line between fueling his passion and protecting him from uncertainties. With theories ripe throughout town, curious onlookers and media began swirling around their home. Anne felt the intrusion acutely, like a shifting tide she couldn't hold back. Camera flashes captured their everyday life, turning private moments public. Conversations at the grocery store became centered around fantastical tales spun from truth and imagination. Each day brought new faces wanting a glimpse, each theory more grandiose than the last. Anne felt strain, but knew curiosity was natural. Artifacts similar to the one Alex found had surfaced across the region, hinting at once flourishing societies now erased from history's pages. Anne listened as the curator explained with excitement, enumerating the discoveries that pieced together tales of these lost cultures. Despite miles apart, they seemed interconnected, sharing advanced knowledge and practices. Anne pondered humanity's forgotten brilliance and felt a twinge of excitement tempered with the respect for lives long extinguished. These revelations pressed upon Anne and her husband heavily, a realization dawning that their find might rewrite history. The museum's experts spoke of the potential to enlighten present understanding with these ancient stories, shifting academic narratives. Anne marveled at the overwhelming responsibility resting on their family's shoulders. Alex, seeing his parents' engrossed expressions, sensed the gravity. Even in youthful innocence, he knew their discovery could redefine present interpretations of human civilization. The timeline they uncovered was vast, reminding Anne of the responsibility not to disturb the sacred essence embedded in their once lost but now pulsating discovery. Questions lingered about the stories cached with the object for centuries. Anne wondered about the lives that touched it, the hands that revered it, now silent witnesses buried in time. What secrets did it carry, safeguarded beneath their backyard? As much as Anne yearned for answers, a part of her hesitated. An international team of researchers, fascinated by potential new discoveries, requested permission to study their property. Hearing plans unfold, Anne felt a mix of pride and apprehension. Her backyard was drawing scholars with aspirations beyond their quiet suburban lives, seeking untold histories. Alex's dad, after days of deliberation, reluctantly agreed to the excavation request, thinking of broader knowledge gains. The researchers arrived, their camp buzzing with academic fervor as they scoured the area around the oak tree where secrets laid. Their exploration unveiled unexpected finds. Stone carvings and ancient tools emerged, tantalizing glimpses of the past sparking excitement among the team. She felt both invigorated and overwhelmed by the buzz of potential findings. Alex seemed caught between wonder and worry, soaking in knowledge that outstripped his years. Anne observed him spending hours buried in books and online resources, his enthusiasm unhindered by the scale of what he was undertaking. The museum's updates indicated the object could potentially unlock new chapters of human cultural evolution. Anne received these pieces of news with a mix of wonder and apprehension. One evening, as twilight fell over the neighborhood, Alex's father received an urgent call from the museum. Anne listened intently, sensing the significance in the curator's voice. The message was brief, yet filled with promise of major news. On the line, the curator's voice carried urgency and restraint, each word hinting at profound developments. As they prepared to visit the museum, the air held unspoken promises of discoveries imminent. Under a quiet hush, the family drove towards the museum. Anne noticed how their small car felt charged with anticipation. At the museum entrance, the family was greeted with an uncharacteristic solemnity. Anne felt her heart skip a beat as they were ushered inside, the atmosphere heavy with unspoken truths. Anne felt the tension crescendo with every turn, her pulse quickening. Entering the confidential archive room, the family faced the senior historian across a table cluttered with ancient texts. As the historian began, his words revealed that the artifact's metallurgy overwhelmed contemporary techniques. The historian continued, detailing how the symbols on the artifact had been decoded to capture philosophical concepts from a forgotten civilization. Rituals connected to the artifact pointed to celestial events that commanded ancient reverence. Anne absorbed the historian's depiction of these ceremonies, each one mysterious and powerful. The historian described the artifact as a crucial key to understanding an ancient world order. Anne felt the enormity of this assertion, envisioning how the object linked various sacred sites. The historian's voice carried an undeniable weight as he confirmed what Anne and her family had suspected. The artifact originated from a civilization over 3,000 years old. This was more than a find, it was a tie to humanity's pioneering roots. The historian described this civilization as adept in metallurgy and rituals, skills that left an indelible mark on time. Anne marveled at their advanced craftsmanship, far beyond what she'd imagined existed so long ago. The historian's words painted a vivid picture of a society whose knowledge transcended ages, etching its prowess into their now disrupted suburban life. The historian explained the artifact's warmth, mentioning a sophisticated bronze alloy that retained heat, a secret of their metallurgy. The historian's explanation pointed to symbols on the artifact narrating long-lost religious practices. Anne soaked up the description, imagining the once vibrant language now merely imprints on metal. She noticed her husband's interest peaked, quietly reflecting on these cultural echoes. The family contemplated the enormity of their discovery, feeling its weight settle around them like a living tapestry of history. Even without full understanding, the historical implications of the artifact's revelation loomed large, intertwining their suburban lives with a legacy long forgotten, awaiting rediscovery. Standing firm beneath its branches, the oak tree seemed almost like a sentinel, holding secrets torn from time, sheltering the artifact's resting place. Anne wandered in thought, appreciating how this ancient tree bridged their lives together with its whispering presence of untold stories. Her husband touched the bark thoughtfully, and Alex gazed upwards, newly aware of the lineage hidden beneath roots so weathered. Understanding dawned as Alex's family embraced the reality of belonging to this ancient tale. Anne felt her own connection deepen, her perspective broadening with each new piece of insight. Alex seemed conversely thrilled and awestruck, realizing their backyard was a living link to history's quiet pulse. Her husband, ever pragmatic, recognized their role in facilitating this bridge. Anne knew they would have to balance this newfound importance with their typical daily lives, a responsibility recognized. Their backyard no longer remained merely a garden, but transformed into a capsule of human achievement, inviting mystery into their lives. Anne felt nature's hand in shaping the narrative they were piecing together, and Alex, whose interest seemed endlessly captivated, stood awash in imagination. Her husband, methodically pragmatic, mentally mapped next steps. Anne understood their place would forever be a passage woven with tales of people who once thrived, a vault of long-lost civilization. Historians and archaeologists alike buzzed with eager dedication, working together to unravel more layers of hidden stories. Anne watched as academia descended on their home, determined to unlock the secrets well beneath their feet. Alex, ensconced among his own studies, became part of this network, the curiosity of countless minds fueling his own. Anne observed how this collective effort bridged past and present, each discovery forging connections with ancient practices, cementing their backyard's place in history. Forever changed, Alex gazed at the oak tree with newfound respect. To him, it signified a gateway, a tangible link to a long-expired civilization, whispering stories through its roots. Anne recognized how the experience deepened his understanding of history beyond textbooks. Her husband, perceptive and steady, acknowledged this shift in their son. As they stood under the ancient sentinel, and knew their lives were touched by something transcendent, a beacon inspiring curiosity in all of them.